Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live. I'm gonna so excited to get down to business today, but before we do, we have some leftover business from last week. Last week, you all were so generous, and we reached another $100 plus actually goal for one of the charities that we support. And just to let you know, 100% of the money that you donated, I cover fees. I know someone had brought that up in the past, but 100% of it, I make up the difference and it goes to the charity. And we were able to support Rancho 3M. I do have a link this time in the video description issue if you want to learn more about this wonderful organization. I was reading some about the history this morning and it just really, really blessed me. It's a real place, and it's a place that my daughter Becky and I have been to in person to serve back in 2006, and they're still going strong and serving a lot of wonderful children. Well, I owe you a song for that. And I'm going to recycle one from the past. I hope you don't mind. But this is one borrowed from the Carpenters. And I think it's one you might be able to relate to. Something strange has come over me. Let's try that one again. Rip that one out. Let's see. Get my key here. I changed the key this morning on this. All right. Something strange is coming over me. There's crochet in almost everything I see. A design has come to mind, and the yarn I must find. Can there be a new coupon on my phone? I'm on the top of the yarn shelf looking down at the yarn store, and the only yarn I bought and the only skeins of yarn that I can find. The dye lots don't match, and there's no more in the back. This love's put me on the top of a shelf. Guess I'll have to find another store. And I'm praying to the Lord that they'll have more. This Afghan can't wait. When did this become my fate? Please don't let me wait another moment more. I'm on the top of the yarn shelf looking down at the yarn store, and the only skeins of yarn that I can find. The dye lots don't match, and there's no more in the back. This love's put me on the top of a shelf. Can you all relate to that? Well, thanks. Sorry, I had to start that one over again. Plus, I'm coming down with a little something. I thought about not doing the live today, but I can still talk fine. But, feeling like something is developing. So, anyway, so I'm going to do as much of the live as I can. And I've got my drink of water, actually, with a little something else in it to get that done. All right. Let me go ahead and say hey to everybody. It's been a wonderful week, and I'm looking forward to telling you about it. Brad's mom, good morning to you. She says, good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, Becky, and all my dear yarnies. Headed to the farmer's market, but I'll see you later for the live. Thanks for tuning in there, Linda. And Ann, she's reminded, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. That would be great if you can. No pressure. And Angie, good morning to you. And Guy Gone Bible, I'm glad you could be here. Bobby was praying for you yesterday. Hope things are going well with the heart and everything. And Barbara, good to see you. She says a chart. What software? You picked up on that. I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit, Barbara. But thank you for picking up on the thumbnail there. I made that this week. It took me 2 whole days, maybe 3. I am learning. I'll go ahead and tell you about it. I'm learning the software Adobe Illustrator. I have I'm somewhat familiar with the Adobe InDesign, so it's a little similar, but of course not exact. Um, if things have to always be, I guess, a little bit different. There's always a learning curve to these new software programs, but I am going to try to start adding stitch diagrams. People have asked for them, and I've resisted in the past, honestly, because the ones that I have seen in print look like, okay, when it comes to cables, okay, when it comes to regular things like filet crochet, they're perfect. Or if you're just doing one stitch in each stitch or skipping stitches, they're beautiful and very helpful. I totally get that. When you get to things like this, the ones that I have seen and the ones that were done for my books, quite honestly, to me, they look like mud. Everything kind of looks like this. And it's like, how do you read that? How do you know which is on top, which is behind? And so I've resisted doing that until recently. My friend, Noelle Stiles with the cable book, she added cable stitch diagrams. And I was so impressed with that because they don't look like the standard, the mud. Let's read this muddy thing. It just looks like a bunch of, I don't know, tangled mess. So I noticed that she spaces hers out quite a bit. So they're actually not touching. And I thought we can do it that way. So to me, that made much more sense. I haven't seen anybody else do it that way. So what I'm going to venture to do going forward for some of my designs is to make a stitch diagram, but it's going to be spaced out. It's going to be a little more unique looking and hopefully more readable. And I'm going to use color to emphasize which stitches are on top, which stitches cross in front with. So you'll know clearly if it's a back stitch or a back post or a front post crossing, if that makes sense. Yeah, a back cross or a front cross. Oh, okay. So see what you started, Barbara. Thank you so much for noticing that though. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to saying hey, and then I'm gonna okay, get to your questions, Hannah. Um Love to craft, waving back at you, my friend. And Lynn Geider, so glad to have you here. She says, thank the Lord for you, Sister Bonnie. You're so sweet. And crochet families. It's very welcoming and cool in Chicago. We serve a gorgeously beautiful God. So is all of his creations. Amen to that. Lynn, that reminds me of something I'm going to talk about towards the end, just regarding God's creation and just how he spoke it into existence and just how powerful words can be. So thank you for your very powerful and encouraging words. You're always there with that. Someone wants to know what blue scarf I'm wearing. This is the Quattro Triticale scarf, and it's an asymmetrical scarf. It's big enough to be worn as a shawl as well, and I am keeping it all together with my jewel design stud buttons, little things there. I just love these things. I have 3 of them, keeping it all connected on the back side so there's no loose things flying around. Anyway, Wanda Gordon, so glad to have you here from joining us from a beautiful day in North Carolina. She says, God is so good. Yes, he is. And Cynthia, so glad to have you. She said, again, reminding people about the like button. Thank you so much. And Yarn Life, so glad to have you join us as well. And she's got blessings in her words. So you guys are so sweet. And Red Hook, good morning. She's joining us from a beautiful Northeast Ohio. Don't you just love this weather? I drove home part of the way from Columbia, Maryland yesterday. I was actually it's kind of technically a business lunch, but I was just checking in with my friend and tech editor, Carolyn. And it's just such a joy to be with her. I really would like to get her on here sometime so that you get to meet her. She's just a beautiful person inside and out. And we had a wonderful lunch together. And coming home, I just had to put the top down of the Miata. It was just so beautiful. Once I got off the highway, I don't like to drive it. I don't like to have things on the highway. They can fly at you. But when you're just alongside the road, it's just beautiful. And the weather is just perfect and dry, but nice and cool. And I love it. All right. Hey, Stephanie. And hi, Alana. So good to have you. She says to be with all of you creative folks there. And yeah, thank you, Wanda. Yeah, song today. And Josie says, good morning, all. Long time since I've been able to join the live. Happy to be back. So glad to have you back today, Josie. Um, and thank you, Hannah, for being here and just making the chat safe for all of us. And for feeding me the questions that I would otherwise not maybe not even have time to get to. So thank you for being there and serving us. And is it Lana? So good to have you. And let's see, Carlene. And we have we have is it Get Your Goat? It's good to see you. Did you see? I still have your little beignet. I was thinking of you this morning. I've just kept this right here. Um, she made that for me, and she was handing these out to people at the New Orleans conference back in 2022. It's been such a long time ago, but just a little over 2 years. Wow. Yeah, I remember that was the first time I got COVID coming home from that conference. Ooh, but it was so great to meet you. I hope things are going well for you. And Denise, good to have you here. And again, you all are great at reminding me about this thumbs up button thing. You're better at this stuff than I am. And Cindy Stitchmaker, what a great name. And thank you guys for your encouragement. And DM, is it Tuzo? Welcome. She says, hope you're enjoying your day. Hope you enjoy a safe and blessed weekend. And you too. And Diane, good to have you here from New Jersey. And Jan, um, and Get Your Goat says, yeah, I understand that feeling from the song. You know, you're trying to find yarn and you just can't find enough, or the worst is, let's say you need 10 skeins that match and you find 9. What do you do? Yeah, what do you do? Um, And honestly, that's why this is gosh, that would have been such a brilliant lead in if I was like going to do a commercial. But it actually just reminded me that's why I order from lovecrafts.com. And if you want to look in the video description, I do have a link. Um, I noticed that their yarn was about at 35% off yesterday. So if you all are looking for the paint box yarn, I do have an affiliate link, so I do benefit a little bit, but that's not why I tell you all about this. I tell you about it because it is my current favorite yarn to use. In fact, I went to Lana's store called So Original in Columbia, Maryland. For those of you in near the Columbia, Maryland area, it's about an hour drive for me. But I showed her a picture of my Christmas throw that I showed you last week. I showed her a picture and she's like, what yarn did you use? Because she was so impressed with the stitch definition that it was yielding. So, she may even start carrying that in her store. And she asked me, do you like it better than this yarn that I've used, another form of acrylic? I said, that's good acrylic, but yeah, I do like this a little bit better. And so she's maybe a local carrier. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what she decides to do. And so you guys like the Carpenters. Weren't they a wonderful group? I mean, I so miss hearing Karen Carpenter's voice. I mean, she was probably one of my favorite female vocals. I don't have a very long list of female vocalists that I like to listen to. And but she is like one of the top on that proverbial list if I had one. She's just was wonderful. And Beth, so glad to have you with us. Um, and Freaky Geek, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the encouragement, y'all. Thanks for the grace that you're showing me here. As you know, the guitar thing is just for fun. It's not my day job by a long shot. All right. Thank you, Carlene. And Heather's with us. She says, hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Love the song. Thank you so much, Heather. And is it Mama Char says she can relate to that as well. Um, And Freaky Geek says, hope you did not catch that from me last Friday. I don't think it's possible to catch it through the internet yet, although who knows? Well, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about my fun week. Some people think that we, the crochet designers, just sit and crochet all the time. Oh my goodness, if only, if only. But we did do some. I spent Monday, the last part of Monday, because the first part of Monday, my Monday, first day of the week, was busy working on getting the new release. Let me go ahead and show that to you. Well, I'll go ahead. Yeah. So I did get this, and I have a confession to make. I was sewing the beads on about 20 minutes ago onto this sweater. Oh, I got to show him the sweater. So this is my version of the Beanie cardigan. And as you can see, it's an asymmetrical design. So it opens from the side. So you can see there's just a little panel here, and then a big panel over here. So it's a little bit of an open design work. The sleeves have the elongated cable down each of those. And then the back is just more elongated cable. And I really enjoy the little, furly um, thing at the bottom. It just kind of helps give, a more of a womanly shape. I would not recommend this for a man. Um, but it is made to be, more to flatter the feminine, female, um, body shape. And I need that, I need that these days. And so this is available. The pattern is available only in the book, and that's not a ploy to make you buy the book, I promise. It's just that I don't own the pattern. I don't own the copyright, and we talked a lot about that last week. I'm not going to go into that again. But this book has been in publication 8 years. So when this first came out, videos like they are now were not a thing. They may have been just beginning, but they were not a thing. So what I have done over the past few years is try to add additional designs. So if you end up investing in this book, I think the lowest cost that I've seen maybe on Amazon is just between $18 and $19. I do sell these for more in my online Etsy store. I do have some left. I do charge more, but just keep in mind shipping is included, and then I sign the books before they leave. There is a link. Again, everything's in the video description, and if you are wondering how to open that up, you'll see a little word that says more. I think it says more now, or see more, or something like that. If you click on that, then you'll see all the different links that I'm talking about. So that's where the pattern is. Okay, so anyway, so Monday I spent getting that ready, making the thumbnail, and there's a lot of work getting one of these videos released, and then giving you all the information you need in the video description, and getting all that uploaded to my watch channel as well, and just getting a lot of administrative things, answering email, and questions from over the weekend, because generally I don't answer questions. After 5 o'clock Friday, I have to shut it down, and then I do other things, enjoy my family, maybe do some housework, or go out for a drive, or just have a break from it. But anyway, after that, the second part of my day on Monday, I started working on stitch diagrams. I don't do I Oh, I can show you a picture right here with my phone. Duh. Um, I'll show you what I did. So it took me about a day and a half, the half of Monday and most of Tuesday morning, and then I was able to produce this. This is what's on the thumbnail. The picture of of a stitch, it's a stitch diagram. And so what this is how you would do a 4-post cable. And you can see where the red stitches are crossing in front. And so I'm going to be trying to experiment with that and try to make them as clear as possible. And I'm going to show you another stitch diagram. I don't even know if you can recognize it, but this is one reason why um, I haven't used these because this is, to me, this is really, really complicated. See this one? Okay, if you've ever worked with stitch diagrams, you might recognize this as, oh, that's just ribbing, but it looks really complicated, doesn't it? I believe it's easier to learn that from a video or just from written instructions. But I am going to obey those who want stitch diagrams, because I think this may, help more people. Um, and and so I am going to be adding stitch diagrams. I'm not going to be doing all the patterns of the past. I may go back and revise them at some point, but just going forward from this time going forward, I am going to try to add those. So I hope that serves somebody out there. I think it is going to add more value to my work. Um, so anyway, that's what I was doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and what's today's Friday, and a little bit on Thursday. So um that's pretty much what I've done all week, but it's just taken me a long time to become familiar with how to manipulate, things on that site. Well, let me go back. Hannah has sent me some questions. I have a prayer request from Beth H. Need prayers needed for my dad. He's seeing a heart specialist next Tuesday. Okay, I have that in Hannah's notes, so I will transfer that to my prayer list afterwards, Beth. I hope things go well. I hope you can hold on to your dad as long as possible. I miss mine terribly. And also from Denise says, can I please ask for prayers for myself that I do not have cancer? I'm waiting for an appointment with a gynecologist. Okay, I will do that, Denise. I know you're on my list for other things as well, so I will add that in. Um, okay, how would people who are male be able to make it? Is this, I guess, if you're talking about this sweater, um, I would just recommend a different design. I mean, just that's just my personal take on it. If that's a question asked about this sweater, um, I would just I have other designs. I do have one pattern, Bonnie's Aaron cabled. Well, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the white sweater that's been behind me a lot. Um, Maybe Hannah can find it on Lovecrafts. It's the Aaron cabled sweater, and I did size that for both men and women because that's more of a, it doesn't really matter. But I did size it, with women's numbers and then with men's numbers based on the Craft Yarn Council of America body sizing. Okay, so that's kind of where I get some of those numbers. And boy, is that fun to do. Whew, it's like calculus on steroids. Um, so from Josie says, "Oh, thank you, Josie. Beautiful sweater. May I ask, how do you release such intricate designs so frequently? I feel like they take me so long to make." Um, Thank you, Josie. Well, part of it is the green sweater that I just released was designed about 9 or 10 years ago and then published in 2016 in the book. So I didn't have to really invent anything. I was just reading the directions that I had already written, years ago. So that was helpful. Um, and I have tried to schedule these about every 2 weeks, but that's what I do full time. It's not just a side hobby. This is my business. This is what I do full time. So, and thank you for saying that though, but it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I do a lot of this work ahead of time. So, like when I showed you the Christmas throw, um, actually that was made quite recently. Um, but but I do try to schedule these out, and like I have some things lined up for the fall that I made months ago. So I just try to schedule things out. But yeah, that's thank you for observing that. It is a lot of work. It's a lot more time on the computer than I would like, but it's just part of what you got to do. All right, well, let me get back. And before I get back to the questions, let me tell you about an event that is coming up. If you want to mark your calendars, if you're anywhere in the Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC, Pennsylvania area. And if you look at a map, find out where Frederick, Maryland is. If that's within, a couple hours drive for you, I would love to meet you. I'm going to be at the Frederick Fiber Festival. That's October. That's not September. October 26th. It's on a Saturday. And from 9 to 4 p.m., I'm going to have most of my books available. I'll be happy to sign them if you want. I'm going to have a lot of like designer samples, not this one. I'm keeping this one, but I have a lot of other things that I've made in the past. Like, let me show you this one. Um, you remember this? What did I call this? The Fergus Shrug. Let me show you the front. Okay, and back again. I have items like this. I have a couple of these that will be for sale. Um, I'm gonna have a lot of things hanging up on my little clothes rack that I bring, that are there for sale. I'm gonna have little things like, you know, little promo things that will be free if you make a purchase. If you don't, there'll be like a buck or two, because I have to pay for them. I'm gonna have these little note. Let me show you these again. you know, these will also be available for those who are interested with the purchase. I think I'm going to be selling these for about $5. If you don't want to make a purchase, which is fine, but I'm going to be doing that. And I may have some other special promo things coming. I ordered some little backpacks. I'm hoping to have some of those available for those who purchase, let's say $50 and up. So I'm just going to have some things available for you all. But it would just be fun to meet you. I mean, if you just want to stop by. I looked at the vendor list. Okay. And this is another reason why I would love for you to come, not just for my table. I'm just one little dot here. I check the current vendor list, and this could even grow to be bigger, but so far there are 119 vendors on the list. I mean, this is like, this may be a little bit bigger than Pittsburgh, but there's not going to be the instruction and things like that available like they are in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is just a wonderful, 2-3 day event. This is just one day on Saturday, October 26th at the Frederick Fiber Fest. It's the Frederick Fiber Festival, and it's at the Frederick County Fairgrounds. So if you want to do a little Google check on that to see where it is, see how far you've got to drive, it's worth it. There are going to be lots and lots and lots of wonderful things there. I still have yarn in my stash that I'm going to start using very soon. This week, I'm going to roll it up and start using it for a design I've got up here. So anyway, so we've got another prayer request from, is it Ali Coffee Cat Crochet? Asking for prayer, been diagnosed with vertigo, and I'm the only driver as my husband is legally blind. So it's really impacting us. Okay. Well, I will definitely pray for that. I hope that will settle out. Hopefully that's just something that just comes up every now and then. I know my husband has had that, and medication helps. Just resting is probably the best. But I will pray that you get help. With these episodes though, and that you'll be able to find, some kind of medication that is effective for that. Um, and Denise says, update on my son from his surgery, 5 weeks today. He is doing really well. Praise the Lord. Thank you for all the prayers. He still cannot do anything, but as I said, he's doing well. That's great, Denise. That was with the neck surgery, I believe, right? I hope that the pain is gone and that he regains 100% function from that. All right. Let's keep a going here if I can make it through. Thank you, Wanda, for your prayers. I appreciate that. What I have is just incidental, but thank you. I appreciate that because I do want to keep going. And that reminds me, I don't really want to get sick because I am scheduled to be out of town next week. So next weekend. So this is what we're going to do. Next Friday fun is actually going to be Thursday fun. So it's going to be Thursday, I don't know what that date is. So if I count up 6, that would be the 20, 21, 21. Okay, to the 26th. The 26th of September, that's next Thursday, I'm going to try to go live instead of on Friday. Again, it's just because I'm going to be out of town, um, going to do a work errand actually with my husband, and we're just going to have fun with it and maybe pick up a concert here or there. I'll tell you about it once I get back, but I do want to tell you about this past week. Again, I'm tagging along with my husband as he checks off some of his bucket list items. And he got to check one off this week, and we had a wonderful time. It was a loud time. We got to see Ringo Starr and his all star band in concert, and it was wonderful. Next time I go to a concert, I am going to take my little, I have a set of these Apple earbuds. I use them when I do Zoom calls because they have sound canceling abilities. I think if I had had them, my left ear would not still be ringing like it is from the concert. Yeah, it's been 4 days and it's still ringing. But maybe that's why they call him Ringo. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I had to put that in there. um, but it was wonderful seeing such an iconic person. And I will say that it was very well done. The venue was beautiful. Everybody there behaved very well, probably because most of the people there were like 60 and up. I'm not kidding. And a lot of the performers there, I mean, Ringo's 84. To be able to see him sing and move the way he moved at 84 is has got to be nothing short but a gift from God. And he had other performers there. There was a guy I was just really really impressed by a man. You can look him up. His name is Warren Ham. He was the instrumentalist. He played a beautiful tenor saxophone. He played a beautiful soprano saxophone. He played the flute very well as well. He played it like a saxophone player than a flute player, but anyway, that's yeah, he it was beautiful. He played a jazzy harmonica. He played some organ keyboards, and he was also doing some hand percussion and vocals, all coming out of one person, not simultaneously, but he would switch back and forth really quickly, and he was incredibly gifted. And come to find out, he's played with just about everybody that you can think of. And he looked like he was in his 30s. Come to find out, this guy was like 72 years old. So he was probably the youngest of the group. I don't remember the name, but the lead singer from the group Toto was also there. There was a man from again, I didn't follow these bands real closely. My husband did growing up. And there was a guy from Men at Work from Australia. And there was another guy, or was it New Zealand? I'm probably getting them mixed up. But there was also another one from the Average White Band. So he had all these people who were, many Grammy Awards amongst them. So it was, if you get a chance to see this show, it's amazing. But do take your sound canceling earbuds so that you don't go deaf um, with that. So anyway, wonderful, wonderful time with my husband. We took the metro into Washington D.C. First time since the pandemic that I've been on the metro. So it was a nice ride in. Had a nice, beautiful walk. Just a little bit of rain, but not too bad. Just really nice weather. So I'm looking at my list here to see what else we got. Yeah. So let me go ahead and get back to the chat here. We have Elaine in the chat says, "Good morning to all. What a beautiful day and watching you. Best day ever." Oh, you're so sweet. And let's see. We have Jacqueline LaFridge here. Hey. And got Beth's prayer request for her dad. And let's see. We have Donna from Delaware. Hey, Donna. Glad to have you here. Oh, thank you, Freaky Geeks, telling Hannah that Becky did a great job in your place. Yes, she did, but we all missed you, Hannah, just to let you know. She was simply a substitute, but yeah, Becky's, they both do a great job. Just very differently, but both do a fantastic job. And Christine says hello from Ohio. And yeah, Freaky Geek says, don't computers get bugs and pass them on? Yeah, they do. Hopefully not to humans yet. um, oh, thank you. Get ya go. Thank you for the comment on the scarf. And Kathleen says, noticed it right away, trying to test my understanding of the symbols. Which reminds me, that's another, thank you. That's another lead in. I'm going to be having a new class. This is a Zoom class for the Watch subscribers. If you don't know what a Watch subscriber is, you can look in the video description and you can check out the Watch channel. It's simply a paid subscriber channel. It's currently $7.95 a month or $79.50 a year. You get a lot of PDF downloads that are available the moment you sign up. It is a discount. It's a little bit cheaper if you go for the whole year, but all the viewing of the video tutorials are completely uninterrupted. There are no commercials, no spam, and I don't sell information. Your information, what you watch is not uh, is not recorded basically and passed on, to other people on the internet. So just to let you know that we try to make it a kind of a seamless process, and it does include complimentary participation and the Zoom classes. And I'm just trying to move my cup here. So the next class is going to be October 10th. And what I'm going to do, it's going to be a back and forth. It's rather than, you know, uh, crocheted stitch instruction, it's going to be talking about how to read crochet patterns. That's including, reading the actual words, the verbiage of how things are to be crocheted. And we're also going to touch on stitch diagrams. And I'm probably going to be using a lot of the stitch diagrams that I have in some of my published books with Penguin Random House. And I'm also going to use some of the ones that I develop in the next couple of weeks using the Adobe Illustrator program. So yeah, so that is going to be October 10th. You do not need to sign up ahead of time if you're a Watch subscriber. In the past, I was concerned that we'd have too many people, so I would, you'd have to sign up, and I would send the link out only to those who expressed interest. But you don't need to do that. I'm going to send the link out to everybody on Watch so that you can participate. Get your questions ready because I'm going in with just a blank slate. So I'm going to try to respond to the questions that you have. We'll cover basic reading, and then how to read the abbreviations, and then we'll look at different types of reading charts for that. So yeah, and we had a really good time last week doing the 4 ways to crochet the traditional granny square. That video, the right-handed only, is up on the Watch channel for those of you who missed it and you want to learn. It's called 4 ways to crochet the traditional granny square. So there's 4 variations on basically the same thing. So that is now available. And let me show you the scarf as well. This is coming. I'm hoping to roll this out next week. It might not be on Monday. It might be a little bit later, maybe on Tuesday, Wednesday in the week. But this is I'm calling it my jumbo braided scarf. And you can see the color, the color changes as you go. And let me show you the yarn in case you are interested in this, and you run into a sale at Joann's. That's where I got this, at Joann Fabrics. You could probably buy it online as well. This is not a sponsored, a yarn sponsored video, just to let you know. I paid for this just like you would have to, but this is the Caron Colorama Halo Perfect Phasing. Now, be aware that when you look for this yarn, there are a lot of different kinds that you may see in the aisle. Some is thin and some is thick. This is the number 5. So you want to get the number 5 thickness if you want to go for the color changing yarn. Now, if you just want to make this a solid color and you've got, a number 5 or even a number 6, it really, the thicker yarn I think works best. If you've already got some in your stash, go with that, If you have to bump up the hook size by one, do it. You don't worry about, staying true to to what I'm doing. You can always, vary it the way you would like. And with the resources you have available. I understand the economy is tough right now. I get that. So anyway, so the jumbo braided scarf, look for that sometime next week. And as always, if you're a watch subscriber, the written pattern will be complimentary to you. For the rest of us, it will be available. I hope to make this available both on Lovecrafts and in my Etsy online stores. So yay, this is coming. And what's great about this is that you'll know how to crochet the jumbo braid once you finish this scarf. Either that or you'll be really angry with me. But anyway, hopefully not the latter. But I do try to take that nice and slow and meticulously so that you learn how to do the new stitch. And that's also the same stitch that I have in the Celtic braided throw. For those of you, let me go ahead and show that to you. Here's a picture of the Celtic braided throw. I'm trying to get that circle off. There we go. So you see the braids here. See, like down the center here. Um, the same stitch. So if you've made one of these and you know how to do that stitch, this is going to be easy peasy for you, and will probably not take you that long at all. All right. Let me get back. Did that. Okay. Let me I'm gonna go ahead and just show you this too. In case you missed it last week. Last week I gave the first sneak peek of the, I'm calling this Bonnie's Christmas Cabled Throw. And this is what it looks like. Okay. So just to show you, we've got some fun stuff coming, and I'm hoping to release this in early October. So I got to get a move on these stitch diagrams, because I'm hoping to have stitch diagrams for both of these stitches. And let me just talk about this a little bit. I'm calling this my twisted stitch, because you have the 4-post cable intertwined with the elongated cable. So one side is twisting and the other side is not as you go. I just thought that would be kind of fun. I've seen this a lot in knitting designs. So I'm like, well, why can't we do it in crochet? Right? It'll go faster and it'll be more fun. And I do knit. So I know a little bit about that. So here we have the giant honeycomb cable, and down the center I have a 5-stitch cable, utilizing the half double crochet in the center of what would normally be a 4-post stitch. So those are the two major cables that are used throughout this project. Okay, so that will be early October. Again, coming to the both channels, and for the watch channel, again, the pattern will be complimentary, and the written pattern will also be available Lovecrafts and in my Etsy stores. Get Your Goat requests an ear warmer from the big braid pattern. I was actually thinking about working something up like that. And the way I worked this, I think there may be a leftover yarn to do that. But Get Your Goat, you could probably work one up yourself very easily, because I know you do crochet design. But thank you. I actually did have that in the back of my back pocket. Maybe do an abbreviated version of that. Was yeah, I've already finished the video. I'm thinking about that. I've already sent the video off to my sister for closed caption editing. But if I do one, it'll be another one. It'll be a separate one. So, but thank you for that request. Yeah, thank you, Hannah. I think I've already answered that one, but thank you for sending it anyway. All right, so we oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Looks like Jacqueline's probably had to go. She said, "Good morning, everyone. Hear the song, but have to run. God bless everyone. I will look at the rebroadcast later. Hannah, hope all is good with classes." Thank you for encouraging us, Jacqueline. I so appreciate that. And Wendy from the yarn shop says, "Howdy from Hagerstown." She says it's a great day to crochet. Yep, every day's a great day to crochet, right? So thank you, Wendy, for joining us. I still have got to get out there. I know I say that. I've got the Hagerstown thing that's coming up, the outdoor festival. I have it on my calendar, just not sure if I'm going to make it there or not. But if I do, I'll definitely stop by or try to find you. Let me know if you're going to be there. It looks like it would be an awful lot of fun. And those of you who are in the Maryland Hagerstown area, like West Virginia is not that far from where that would be. And also, I should have included you West Virginia people as well for the Frederick Fiber Festival. You're not that far from us, so maybe we can, if y'all want to come over, everybody's welcome to come to the Frederick Fiber Festival, but check out the Hagerstown one as well. And someone says, "Do you have any tips? I guess how not to get overwhelmed and lost while doing projects?" Um, I might ask a reverse question. How do you not get overwhelmed with all the housework you've neglected while you've been working on your projects? That's kind of the battle I'm fighting right now. I really have a lot of work I need to do tomorrow that has nothing to do with crochet, just has everything to do with cleaning. But that's a really good question. I think if you're stuck on a project and not getting very far, I found it helpful to put it in timeout. I've done that with a number of knitting projects, in fact, and not even because I'm having trouble with them, but just tired of it. That happens to me with knitting sweaters. I've knit one sweater. It took me 2 years, but I did get it done, and I absolutely love it. But it just after a while, it was just so boring to me. I know, and if there are knitters out there, I'm not trying to be offensive in any way, shape, or form. It's just that, you just when you're doing, 300 knit stitches in a circle, for 12 inches. I mean, ugh. But I what I would do is just take small bites of it, just pieces little by little, and it'll get done eventually. Maybe try not to have too many things going at the same time. Um, like currently, right now, if I were to go on a long car trip, like if my husband came home and said, "Okay, we're driving to California in 10 minutes," he wouldn't do that. He better not. But if he did, currently, right at this moment, I don't have anything except that sweater going. I have things that actually, I have one thing that I'm finishing that I could finish that'll take me maybe an hour. And then I don't have anything new that I've started, because the way I work is I record as I crochet. And then once I've recorded the basic pattern, so that all you got to do now is repeat this 2 million times or something like that. Once I get to that point, then I can take that project and hit the road with it and get her done, if you know what I mean. That's how these throws get done. I record the amount that you need to see, and then after that, I'm home free. I just sit and relax, and I enjoy it even more because I can just crochet away. But I don't have anything that I can just pick up and make right now, because I have preliminary work that I have to do on it before I can do that, if that makes any sense. Tell me I'm making sense. I don't know. But I don't know. I maybe write down what you do and check it off. That sometimes gives you a sense of feeling like you've accomplished something. Um, and if you get to the point where you're just overwhelmed and tired of it, it's time to just set it aside and do something else. Go outside, do something different. Just get away from it for a while. I don't even know if I've touched on your question or not, but if not, ask again, or um, yeah. I have a good. I read your question again. Um, I think the main thing that I think to keep from getting overwhelmed is see this as a craft that you love doing that brings joy to you. Don't look at it as a competition with anybody, either friends or family, or people you see online. It's not a competition. Um, and don't compare to just don't compare to what other people are doing. I mean, just if you're going to compare, maybe if you're feeling like you need to be, I don't know, that your skills need to be higher than they are. I could be tempted with that with music because I love playing music. My skills might be about here, but when I went to the concert, the people's skills were like way up there. And, there's the temptation to think, wow, they are really good. I'm just going to go home and burn my guitar because it's never going to sound like what they did. But at the same time, there's a pleasure and a joy with what I can do, even though it's much more reduced, to the really big names. So I would say try to be thankful for where you are, and if you're going to compare in any way, compare to where you used to be with your skills, and I think you'll come away encouraged. Um, when I look back at the designs that I first released in magazines, like 10, even 14, 15 years ago, I'm like, ugh, it's just, I feel like my best work is in front of me, not behind me, if you know what I mean. I think, the best work, I think, is still yet to be done. And I look forward to it. I think adding the stitch diagrams, I think is going to, dare I say it, enhance my work. And I think because of that and other reasons, I think, my best writing is still in front of me, not behind me. So, oh, that was a long talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope that helps. Yeah, I just think don't compare, no matter what you're doing. If you're just home, if you're home and you have the joy of raising your children, for goodness sake and for their sake and your sake and your sanity, don't compare your children to anybody else's and what you're doing. I mean, don't compare your crochet. I mean, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it because that's what this is for. It's a joy. It's supposed to be. Um, anyway, um, and it's hard for me to pronounce this first word. The coffee cat crochet person says, any chance of a fingerless mitts pattern using a worsted weight yarn? Um, probably, probably not from me for a while. I do have plans to do a fingerless glove set, but it's going to be with fingering weight yarn, because that's what I have in my stash. That's what I think would work best for what I have in mind. That said, if you look at my site, at my homepage on YouTube, and you go to the playlist and you look for quick crochet gifts, look in that playlist. It's a long list. I have many different things, which I think I always refer people to that for the preparation for the holidays. But there are a few sets of fingerless gloves in there, and some do use the thicker yarn. So you can go ahead and check those out right away. But I probably won't be designing more. Let me show you one. Hold on one second. I have something to show you. There is there is an entire leaflet by Leisure Arts. If you can get a copy of this, I have some copies. I don't think I have these in my Etsy store, but this is a booklet of sets of caps, cowls, and mitts, and all the mitts are the fingerless gloves. There are 3 sets with, the matching, if you like that, and this is all with worsted weight yarn. So if you are interested in this, these are available from Leisure Arts. They might be available on Amazon as well. If you can't find them, email me, bonniebay@me.com, and I will activate these on Etsy. I don't think I have these on my Etsy page. But if you're interested in these, there are 3 sets there. I don't have videos for these. Do I have videos for any of these? I do not. Um, but that's something I can maybe look at. I might have to look at doing some videos. I'll put those aside. I may have to add that to my list. Yeah. My unending list. Like I said in past broadcasts, I'm gonna have to live to be at least 300 to get everything out of my head and into yarn. We know that's not going to happen, so I have to kind of be careful and make choices. All right, let me keep on going here. We're getting close to the end. Let me go ahead and another drink. Voice is holding out. I still feel that thing. It's in the back of the throat. It just feels like I need to be careful. So maybe if you guys just, maybe if I just pray, maybe it'll go away. And oh, thank you, Kathleen. Is asking again. Maybe this is the question Hannah posted at the front. The scarf. People are asking about that. This is the Quattro Triticale asymmetrical scarf or cabled scarf. It's Quattro Triticale is the name of the scarf. And for those of you who don't know, it's a reference to an old 1960s Star Trek episode called Trouble with Tribbles. It has to do with wheat. It's a wheat. And so this is wheat stitches on it. So that's what I named that for. It's available on my channel, and all the pattern information for written patterns is in the video description. Have it for right and left-handed. And Get Your Goat says, Bonnie, I'm making a sweater using your Listoon Varna pattern. Yay. Only with 2 shorter panels and sleeves. Oh, wow. I would love to see that. Please send me a picture if you get a chance. Get Your Goat. And again, Hannah, thank you so much for what you're doing. And Yarn Life, welcome. Thanks for joining us from New York. And we got Marilyn from Conyers, Georgia. Wow. Welcome, Marilyn. Glad to have some of you guys. Gosh, we got the north and the south and everything in between. It's so wonderful. And Jan says, Bonnie, I've diagrams with different colors, but I get the mud. I need all the help I can get. Cables are my kryptonite. Well, Jan, I'm hoping that will, I'm hoping that the diagrams will help and not hinder. And let me say something about that. If you look at these diagrams that I do and that still looks like mud to you, just to avoid it. You don't have to be able to read the diagrams. Just kind of like, okay, move them right along. I'm going to the video. So maybe, that's what I'd recommend. Cynthia wanted to know what's the name of the mitten book. It's called Caps, Cows, and Mitts. This is one that I wrote a long time ago, actually. When is the publication? Let me see what the publication date is. Wow. 2016. So this is 8 years old already. Can you believe that? I remember, Hannah, I remember getting you and Becky to model these for me. Do you remember that before we sent them into Leisure Arts for consideration? I still have those pictures, but I won't show them to everybody, I promise. We got DL Crisp from Southern Oregon. And thank you, Hannah, for putting the link in there for the scarf. The author's name, it's me, Bonnie Barker. Self-promote every chance you get, right? Yeah, thank you, Hannah, for asking that. And Yarn Life says they're doing On a Hill Far Away. Excellent. I so love doing that one. And Freaky Geek says, Yarn Life, you leave home to find a hill far away to do your crafting. Always looking for a chance to make a joke. I love it. And thank you, Virginia. She says, I also love that shawl scarf. It's 88 here in Florida. Yeah. When I was growing up in Florida, I didn't wear these very much, Virginia. But now that I've been in Maryland for 35 years. Oh my goodness. Been in Maryland 35 years. Yeah, I love the sweaters, and I wear a lot of sweaters, and definitely the scarves are the great in between. And let's see, we have Anna Marie says, hello, Bonnie and Hannah, wishing you a great day and weekend. Thank you so much. And Kathy from Scott, Louisiana. Wow. God bless you too. Wow, that's great. Um, only been to Louisiana one time when I went to New Orleans. Um, Freaky Geek said that looked like a Pop Tart. Huh. Okay. Um, and thanks again, Hannah, for that link. And let's see. Hannah's so funny. I wouldn't be surprised if there's someone who could crochet with their toes. Wow. Hmm. Might have to wash that item before you give it away. Okay. Yes, I just said that. And Jesus Joy 7, good day to you. And she says, it's misty rain here now in San Diego. I pray everyone is doing well. Yeah, I thought it never rained in Southern California. Yeah, well, I'm glad you are getting rain. So seriously, I'm glad to hear that, as long as it's not too much. Um, and let's see. All right, I've got a lot more. I'm just going to look through and see if there's anybody that I haven't spoken to. And Patty's out there in California. Yay. And Josie says cables are my kryptonite too, but I'm working on it. It's a process. It's a process. I love your little menorah there, Josie. That's beautiful. Um, and let's see. All right. Well, let me go ahead. I wanted to read something. Did I leave it in the other room? I sure did. But you know what? I know the verses. I left my Bible in the other room, but I happen to have a Bible. I can find it on my phone. Oh, come on. You're here somewhere. There we go. I'm going to be reading from Proverbs 25. Okay. So this past week, I've been thinking a lot about the power in words, and got to join an excellent Bible study with one of my pastors this week and my husband, and the focus, was on living in this world, and it studies the people back in the Old Testament who were forced to live in exile in Babylon. And how do you continue to walk the kind of life that you want to live when everything around you is screaming something different? And in the discussion, just learning just how powerful words are. And I know, if you just think with me for a minute, you can think of, if I even just ask you, can you think of a time when someone said something, or even this could even apply to electronic communication, whose electronic words or spoken words were just really mean to you? If I said, can you remember a time when that happened? I know you could probably boom think of something, because they're powerful and they stick with you. And by the same token, if I ask you to think of a time when someone really blessed you and really encouraged you in a way that you didn't expect, that was so positive, um, I bet you still remember that too. And I just say this to just remind us that what we say, and even how we say it, but the words themselves are very powerful. In fact, in Genesis, um, it says in the first chapter that God spoke and the world came into existence. And there's much more to it than that, but just the power of the spoken word. And in the New Testament, um, Jesus, in the Gospel of John, he is referred to as the Word, and the Word became flesh. So there's lots of power in words. And so I'm going to just read a little bit, especially, as we interact with people online. It just really blesses me when you all encourage other people for just liking or saying beautiful, um, when I post a picture of something that somebody's made, or maybe you post something that you've made and people encourage you. I mean, it means a lot. It does mean a lot, and we shouldn't take that for granted. Um, but just, with the political world that we kind of live in, I'm not going to go there, I promise. But I just want to just say, let's be careful with our words, okay? Let's be really careful with our words, knowing that they do have impact, and they do have meaning, and sometimes repercussions and longer lasting effects, sometimes that are fantastic, and sometimes long lasting effects that we really don't want to cultivate with, especially with our friends and family. So that's the setting I want to read this to you. This is from Proverbs 25, starting with verse 11. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. Like a gold ring or an ornament of gold is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift he does not give. With patience, a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue will break a bone. So lots and lots of power, um, in our words, lots of power in our tongue. And I don't say all this as someone who does it perfectly. I say this with a lot of conviction because I've been convicted, just in my heart about, probably shouldn't have said that. Oh, I probably didn't need to write that. So just wanting to pass that on to you all. Just trying to figure out how to live in Babylon. Um, so, anyhow, I hope you all have a fantastic week. And again, next day, I'll be here at noon, not Friday. Okay. God bless.